Give Aaron a warm welcome, please. Here. Is this a magazine ad?
Yeah. It's a magazine ad, but it's also been translated to my online webpage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does this look like an ad? Not much about this looks like an advertisement, right? Headlines, columns of copy, pictures. This could be an article that was in a magazine just as easily as an ad. Yeah, there are a couple of little cues that when you look and you scrutinize, but this does not evoke the, oh, that's an ad, I should skip it, nothing valuable there. And I'll tell you what, if you are someone that's interested in body kits or souping up your car or tricking it out, you're all over this. This just looks like something that you're going to learn something from. Does that make sense? You get what I'm saying here? Okay. So I like this. I think that this is, you're starting off great. Good design, good direct response, 17 facts you must know. Now, before even thinking about spending a single cent of your hard-earned money at other body kit and accessory shops, right? We can maybe tune these up a little bit, but we're going to focus on the design. Tell me about your business. Tell me about your customers.
Well, Eben, you've basically summed it up really nicely. We're basically in the business of really taking ordinary, dull-looking, uninspired cars and then transforming them into head-turning masterpieces. All right, it's
into what kind of masterpieces?
Head-turning masterpieces. Yeah, so it's like wow. A lot of it. All right, a lot of what we do, all right, can be seen on TV, on MTV's Pimp My Ride. All right, and we are actually a local franchisee.
You guys are like Pimp My Ride Light.
No, we are actually Pimp My Ride. I'm actually the Malaysian version of the West Coast Customs that you see on TV.
You are the ride pimper.
Yeah. My pimp hand is strong.
Your pimp hand is strong.
That's right. Yeah.
I can't believe that actually happened here. That is unbelievable. So, can you talk about that?
About what?
About the fact that you are the ride pimper?
About the what?
Do you pimp out some of the rides that appear on TV?
On Malaysian TV, yeah, of course, yeah.
Some of your pimped rides have been on MTV on Pimp My Ride.
Not on MTV's Pimp My Ride, but because
then you're not the authentic ride pimper.
No. But you see, the thing is,
your pimp hand is weak.
No. No. Hang on, Eben. All right, let me
back up.
Yeah, allow me to just clarify. All right, the guys that you see on MTV, all right, they are West Coast Customs.
Okay.
All right. So they're based in Corona, California.
Yeah.
And we are basically the Malaysian representative.
Gotcha.
So it's sort of like a franchise thing.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So
awesome. Yeah. I'll stop being weird and just get down to business here.
All right.
Tell me about your customers. Why are they tricking their cars out?
Having been in this industry for about 5 years, one thing I find with men and cars in general is that, it's kind of like women and shoes. And there's really no logic to, how much, they're willing to invest. And most of them, are very successful.
But why are they doing it? We'll get to that in a minute. That's great.
They're doing it really because most of them want to stand out. Some of them.
No. Why are they doing it?
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, that. We're back to that thing again, okay. Huh? I'll give you a hint.
Yeah.
Women in shoes.
Yeah. Probably to get the women out of the shoes and then some. Yeah.
Can I say something that I've only said to friends in the past? Can I share something? Am I among friends? When I see a car that has just been so overdone, I mean, you know the difference between a car that is done right and a car that is just overdone.
Right. Yes.
And most of them are either overdone or not done right, or they're cheesy, and there's a combination of stuff that just doesn't work together. The design doesn't work. And there's a lot of bass coming out of it at the same time.
Mobile discos.
Yes. I feel this compulsion to walk over and knock on the window, and when it rolls down, say, I don't know if this is going to make sense to you, but I understand what you're trying to say. But I need to tell you that what you're communicating to them isn't what you think you're saying. Somehow I don't think that they would get that, so I just leave it alone. Isn't that ironic that that's really what it's all about?
Really,
right?
that's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of unconscious stuff, right? Now, once you get into it, though, just like anything else, it's like artistry. There are levels of detail and subtlety you could go forever, right?
That's right.
You've probably seen $2,500 Honda Accords that have $50,000 worth of stuff bolted on top of them, right? That you go, wait a minute, you could have just gone and bought a much better car to begin with.
Car,
but it's the love, it's my, it's what I do, right? They get into it. So we've established that they're irrational. They go totally crazy.
Definitely.
Nuts,
Definitely,
right?
yeah.
And there's a passion, there's a love for it.
There is.
But that there's an end game here, right? When you go to the import shows, they have those hot import models running around, and that's a key piece of it. No models, it'd be a different level of, right? And they've almost become celebrities now, right? I'm curious as to why you don't have any of that in here, in the design.
Any of what?
The goal, the attractive woman.
Oh.
I know that this is going to also be astounding, but I'll bet you that there's big money in the intersection between sex and advertising. Bet you that if you put those together, somehow, I don't know how it would work, but I could see it happening. So 17 facts you must know now before even thinking about spending a single cent of your hard-earned money at other body kit and accessory shops. I'm going to talk to the headline. We'll get to a little more of the design, but there is a little bit of sell in there. You're trying to convince me to buy something from you, right? I haven't read the content, but it's probably pretty good. There's probably good information in there. I think it would be valuable to show regular guys who have really cool cars that they bought all the stuff from you and did it themselves for a lot less money than you'd think, sitting there with their attractive girlfriends. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And when you tell me the story about the stuff that they can buy and how they can build their car and all the things, try to weave that element in there. I'd at least test it. Because I think that on an instant unconscious level, I want to connect up to, I'm going to buy these parts. And is part of this, by the way, that they can do it themselves for cheaper than they can in other places? No. It's more expensive to get them from you.
We are the most expensive in this industry.
I was going down the wrong road.
That's
Sorry
okay.
about that.
No worries.
Okay. There was something about this kind of thing up here where I kind of felt like it might be the do-it-yourself kind of thing. You are the top of the line. You're the best.
Yeah.
Okay. So in that case, you need to have regular guys with really hot girlfriends in the picture, because the person that's spending the big bucks thinks that they're going to get that little bit more attractive woman by buying the extra cool fender or whatever.
Makes sense.
Does that make sense? Just design-wise, when I look at this, I go, wait, this is all about cars, and it's all about body kits and accessories, and there's not the end goal. What else? What are some of the things? Let's take sex out of it for a second, because we realize that's not a very important motivator. What's a motivator, another motivator? What are these high-end guys looking for? What is important to them? Why are they buying from you instead of the cheaper place?
Well, we've got a lot of stuff in place, such as the after-sale service. That's really, really important.
That's not why they're buying from you.
Okay.
Why are they buying the really good stuff?
Social status, I guess. That they can afford. That they can invest in the best.
Is that why it is? Do you know? Have you talked to him about it?
Well, no. I have not spoken to him.
Well, with what I just said to you, I'm going to leave you with this homework assignment. You probably sell a lot of it. You probably hang out at these places where you can interact with your customers and just talk to them. I want you to start asking them, why did you buy our thing for $2,500 when you could have bought the knockoff, and you know you could have, for $1,000?
Yeah, I have. I do interact with.
Why do they do it then?
Well, again, it goes back to, again, I don't know whether whether they're telling me the truth or they're just trying to be nice.
Yeah.
But really, they say it's first and foremost. They always tell me, okay, because I'm comfortable with you guys. Because when I came into the shop, you guys made me feel like, you guys made me feel like a friend. You guys weren't trying to just, like pressure sell me. And if we feel that what we are selling them and what they want to buy is not a right fit, we'll actually recommend them elsewhere.
Gotcha.
Right? So.
And I've dug into this from looking at this from a design perspective, so I didn't really get into your business, and maybe I misunderstood one or two things. But do you typically do the work at the shop? Do you put the pieces on and bolt it all together and give them a finished thing?
No,
you give them parts and kits.
I basically do most of the marketing, and I'm basically the front face of the shop. So most of the clients, their first interaction will be with me, and after that, I've got.
Does the shop do the work, or do they usually?
Yeah,
they usually walk out with parts, or do they
No.
bring the car in and leave it, and then they leave with the car done?
They leave the car done.
Okay.
Done.
Interesting.
Yeah. So they come with the car before, and then when they leave, it's after. Everything's done.
Yeah. See, I'm thinking here just in the communication when you say body kit and accessory shops.
Oh, yeah.
That just sounds to me like parts. It doesn't
no.
sound like
that's because
completed.
again, I know where you're coming from, Eben. It's just that because in Malaysia, it's really different from the way things are being done over here.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's really different.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in other words, this speaks the language. It's speaking to your
It does.
customer.
It
They
does.
get
Back
it.
home in Malaysia, yeah, it does.
Okay, good.
It does.
Good. Goodja? I just made up a new word. Goodja.
No,
It's
I
like
said
good
gotcha.
and yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Perfect. So what I would like to see you do is try to incorporate some of the end goal. Try to get inside of their heads and figure out what it is that's motivating them to come in the first place. Because somebody that's responding to this probably doesn't know you.
Yeah.
This is to get a new customer, right?
That's right. That's right.
And you may need to find that thing that you sell that's cheaper, or the thing that gives them more instant gratification, or the thing that they can just get from you that gets a response that you can follow up. Because if it is the relationship that's making them spend the big bucks, this right here, I don't know if that's a connect to just kind of get me in the door, but maybe it is as well. Anyway, it was an interesting conversation. Thank you for coming up. We've run out of time. All
Thank
right.
you.
Good, Aaron. What I'd like to do now is introduce a marketing approach. And even though this wasn't invented yesterday, it's something that I think we can interpret in a modern way. And that if we want to master modern marketing, I think that figuring out how to implement this strategy in our businesses can really help out. I call the strategy moving the free line. Moving the free line. So I'm going to give you a little visual now and call this the free line. You might think of this as the relationship, the progress, the relationship with a customer. When you start out meeting a customer, you do things for them that you might consider to be free. This is the free stuff. You might give them a little sample, or the ad you run might be free for them to look at, or they might call a free recorded message, or maybe they'll go to a free website. Whatever it is, typically it's free, whatever it is that's teaching them about you, getting a little bit of education. And over here, I call this the depth line. So this is the depth line. There's a free line. This is the depth line over here. And as you get to know a customer kind of chronologically over time, you start out, maybe they buy a low-priced product, maybe you upsell them to the next level, sell them another thing, and maybe you've got a mid-priced product, maybe you sell them something else, another thing, and maybe you've got your premium-priced product over here. Maybe this is a free report they can download online, or maybe some free information they can get on your website. Maybe there's a $10 product or a $50 product, and then maybe there's a $100 product, and then maybe over here is a $200, $300, and maybe that's a $1,000 product. Well, the idea behind moving the free line is to take this line of stuff that they can get for free and move it over. And something that maybe used to cost $10 or $20 a person would be used to paying, now they can get from you for free. And when you move the free line, when you take this and no longer have it here, but maybe it's like here, what happens is your lead funnel opens up. You appeal to more people. A lot more people are going to be interested in getting something for free that's very valuable. Now what you can also do then is take this depth line over here and you can move that as well. And whereas that was a $1,000 product, maybe this is a $2,500 product or $5,000 product. Because if you open up your funnel and you get more people over here, what that means is you're going to have more of the cream that's going to be in there with your milk. An example of this system and how I've used this is some of our altitude marketing. The way that I launched the altitude marketing program, all the beginning of the marketing was with the free business analysis quiz that I showed you that led to the giveaway of a free piece of software so that you could make your own. That was the process. First, we showed how a quiz can, with some sources of traffic, get higher opt-in conversion percentages than standard landing pages. Since a lot of people had been knocking off our landing page, we thought it would be interesting to show them something that potentially could work better. And then to really blow everyone's mind, then give the software away so you could create your own, so you could do it yourself from home. Now that was tied to another strategy of affiliate marketing. We marketed a little bit to our lists, but most of, the great majority, almost all of our leads and our traffic came through affiliate partners. I didn't just do that to give to the world. I did it because I knew that this audience of online marketers would think that that was cool. And they'd want to tell their lists about it just because they want to tell their lists about cool things because they want the people on their list to think that they're cool. So I knew it would be going above and beyond. We moved the free line. We gave away, you might consider it to be, we could put a value of hundreds of dollars to anyone that wanted it. Now what that also allowed us to do is instead of just selling kind of standard information products to start out with Altitude and selling a program for $100 or $200, it allowed us to sell our very first program for $10,000 right out of the gate. Because we were able to get tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people to come to the website and check it out because we moved the free line. I'll tell you, if I would have called up all these internet marketing gurus and all these folks who I had just been getting to know, a lot of them, and said, hey, we're going to be selling this thing for a lot of money, and it's going to be cool, and I'll give you some of the money if you sell it, so tell your list about it. Most of them would have said, I got a lot going on, busy, schedule's full. What I did is I went to them and I said, hey, check this video out that I made. And it was a video of me talking about our landing page and talking about, a cooler landing page, and then talking about the software, and I showed them the software and showed them the page. I didn't say, will you tell people about this? I said, watch this. And then you know what they all said? I got to tell my list about this. This is cool. And that's really how it all started. Just moved the free line right out of the gate, right from the beginning. Gave away a massive amount of value. It's one of the great things about the internet. You can give away webinars. You can get 1,000 people on a webinar. You can have your own webinar line that can hold 1,000 people at a time, and you can have it 24/7 for under $100 a month. Use it as much as you want. You can give away free webinars. You can give away streaming video. You can make a video on a little pocket camera. You can upload it to Google Video, put an hour-long video on there, have a video that's worth $100, give it away to as many people as can watch it. Create a downloadable PDF book that's worth $50 or $100 or whatever value it has Whatever it's worth, you translate the value, you can give it away. These are strategies that are being used by people that have no list, no market, no product, to go generate huge lists of people. Move the free line. Now, on the one hand, I'm saying this because it's a good marketing strategy. On the other hand, I'm saying it because I actually think that we need to get a little more honest with ourselves and with our customers, and we need to start letting our customers see what it is that we're selling so that they can make an informed decision. Because too many business models are built on, I'm going to sell you a bunch of stuff, and then you're going to be too lazy to ask for a refund or to call the credit card company to get a charge back. And I don't want to talk negatively or disparage other people that are in our industry, but when I hear about things that, like designing the packaging of your product so that once the person opens the package, it makes it so it's impossible to return, and you've got a return policy that's really good, but once they open it, it messes up the packaging, and now they can't. It's like, that stuff's a little weird to me. It doesn't feel right in the gut. Well, on the other side of that, instead of saying, give me money and I'll show you what's behind the curtain, if for your own integrity, right, for your own, kind of for your own good, to hold you to a higher standard, you say, I'm going to show you some of my stuff. I'm going to let you avail yourself of who we are. And maybe you sell refrigeration systems for hotels, and you sell these big freezers, and you say, how do we get the hotel to get an experience of the refrigerator? I don't know what the answer is, but you could figure it out. You could have a way where, maybe you have a little webinar where the people that buy the refrigerators in the hotels get on the webinar, and you take them through your company, and you talk to them about, how you do business, and show them some of your customers, and talk about your philosophy. I don't know what it is. There's a way, though, to move the free line and to get your prospective customer a bunch of the value up front. I like it for that reason, too. I think it holds us to a higher standard. But there's another reason why you need to do it. If you don't do it now, someone else will. Someone's going to figure out that by giving away something that didn't take them that long to create, or by packaging up some of the stuff that you now sell for a lot of money and giving it away, they're going to steal all your business. And so you need to do the math in your head and say, okay, I see where this is going. If I'm the best, and I hope you are, I need to prove it by giving enough of it away that people say, wow, you are the best. Because the best kind of always rises to the top in some way. There's a reason why Rolex watches sells so damn many watches year after year after year after year after year. There's a reason why they keep selling them. There's a reason why Ferrari keeps selling car after car after car when you can go buy a perfectly good used car for a few $1,000s that'll get you, well, you'll drive it a lot more than you'll drive your Ferrari. Or you can get a perfectly good watch for $5 that'll probably keep time way better than that mechanical Rolex. There's room at the top for the best. So if you're the best and you let people have a little bit, have a little taste, and they see that you're the best, you will have an audience. You will have people that will want to work with you. Right? There's always a market for the best. So move the free line. So here's something that we saw earlier on. Remember the headline? Unlimited TransUnion credit reports and scores, free for 30 days. Your credit report and credit score, quick and secure, every day if you want. I love that language. Every day if you want. Was that written by some stuck-up PhD English geek who was trying to make this sound grammatically perfect? No, that was written by a real person. Every day if you want. That was a regular person talking to regular people. Your credit report and credit score, quick and secure, every day if you want. 24-hour notification of critical changes to your credit report, so you'll always be informed. Up to $25,000 ID theft insurance at no additional cost. All this and more included in the TransUnion Credit Monitoring Trial. 30 days free, then just $11.95 per month. Start your free trial, click here. What are they doing? They listened to my program, and they're moving the free line, of course. But in a way, that's what they're doing. They're moving the free line. Several years ago, that wasn't available. You couldn't get all that cool stuff for free for 30 days. Now, what does it force them to do when the customer's coming in there and looking around and getting it free for 30 days? Make sure it's pretty good. Adobe. These guys are amazing. You can download their high-end $500, $600, $700 programs on their website, and they'll run on your computer for 30 days. Free. You want to learn to use the new, whatever, $700 or $800 version of Photoshop? Go download it at Adobe, fire it up, and use it. That's amazing. How much is that worth? I don't know, but it's worth something. Now, Adobe bought Macromedia several years ago. You can get all their cool stuff too. Download free trial. Moving the free line. Subtly says, we've got the goods. Want to try them out? Here you go. Back to our free business analysis. When we did this, I said, okay, now what would make this really cool? Because I'm not just trying to get people to give me their name and email address. I want them to realize that we have the goods. So I didn't just design a trick so that they'll give me their name and email, and then I'll be like, ha ha ha, I got your name and email now. I will sell you lots of stuff later. I designed something that would be very helpful. So I personally went in, made all the questions, the answers, and then for each answer, I wrote a separate piece of copy, a separate little piece of advice, so that now that I know everything about you, you click the button, or now that the machine knows everything about you, and it dynamically writes you a 5-page report full of valuable business advice that you can use. Because I want you to read it and think, hey, wait a minute, this is stuff that no one's ever even asked me before. Oh, that's some valuable stuff in there. And I've had people come up to me, one after another, and say, it all started when I took your quiz, and then I read the advice that it gave me, and there was some really good stuff in there, and I started using it. Anyone here use some of the advice that you got, like, clicked for you, right? So there's advice, and there's something in there that made sense to you, and you said, oh, I can make some money with this. Now, if you go and you implement something, or you just see how you can implement something and make money that you haven't heard from anyone else, are you going to be open to being a potential customer? I mean, especially in business where one good idea, how long does it take to make a few $1,000s? Or, right? It could happen instantly. I mean, you could make a little tweak and double your results, or hire just the right person and free up half your time. So here's a hint. When moving the free line, lead with your best stuff. Lead with your very best stuff. Now, why do we want to lead with our best stuff? Any guesses? We want to lead with our best stuff because the customer out there doesn't know us yet. They don't like us. They don't trust us. They're suspicious. They know that we are the bad business person that's going to try to force whatever it is that we have down their throats. And then they're going to be stuck with it. And they're going to make a bad decision, and they're going to be embarrassed because they're going to have to tell their family and their spouse that they blew the money on this thing that didn't work out. That's not what they want. And if you give them a crumb and you say, here's something that's probably worth $20, but it's kind of one of our throwaway things, but here, take this and then come back and give me your money, that doesn't fly. If you show up to my website and you're a business person and you need some business advice and you watch one of my videos and it's just an okay piece of information, it wasn't one of my better things, are you going to assume that all the stuff behind the curtain is better or worse? You're going to look at it and you're going to go, that was just okay. Your stuff's probably all just okay. If you come to my website and you watch something and it's really profound, it's impactful, you immediately go, oh, I know what to do with this, and you go do something different in your business as a result of it. You immediately take it. It's so good that you put it into action immediately. Are you going to assume that the rest of the stuff behind the curtain is better or worse? Right? You're going to be like, oh, there's even more stuff back there. That thing worked. There's all these gems. we humans tend to keep our best stuff to ourselves. We want to hide it from the world. We don't want anyone to know. Only people who give me lots and lots of money can get the really good stuff. Well, in this case, that will prevent you from having a lot of success. Okay? When we made our free business analysis quiz, we were giving away something that was pretty valuable. I argue that it's one of the most valuable ideas, concepts, pieces of software that's kind of been given away to a large group of people. I could probably make an argument that we gave away, $1 million worth of stuff, or who knows, some big amount of stuff. Was it worth it to give away $1 million worth of stuff to launch a business that could potentially be around for a long time? I think so. People didn't come to us because we gave them something that was just okay. They came because we gave away something that they went, whoa, that's cool. And if you're giving that away, how cool must be the free stuff? Or no, how cool must be the stuff that I pay for if the free stuff is that good? So quickly right now, get a blank sheet of paper. I'm going to do a little exercise. We've learned how to think like customers a little more here. We've learned that it's all about what's going on in their mind, where they're coming from, what their needs are. What's that fear or frustration? What's that driving motivator that they have? What's going on for them? And how does that connect to the thing we're giving them to deliver them to the promised land? To deliver the result, the outcome, the benefit that they want. That's where we're going to start. From there, what is one thing that you have in your head, a product, a service, something you could give away, deliver at a very, very low cost in mass, but has a high perceived value, $20, $50, $100 or more, that if you gave that thing away to your prospects would make them go, whoa, this is incredibly valuable. Might be an idea, might be a technique. If you're a real estate salesperson, it might be a negotiating technique that you've discovered over the years. It might be a way of pricing homes. It's something that you don't share, but with your best customers. What is that thing that you figured out that is your gem, your magic bullet, the thing that you figured out that you could make into a product, a download, a video, something that you could deliver in mass? How could you package it up so that it could be delivered in mass at a very low cost? Just take a couple of minutes and brainstorm. Write down 3, 4, 5 ideas that come to mind. Let's have no talking during this exercise. All right, good. Who had an idea come up for them, something that they could create and deliver? So here's what I want you to do now that you have all of this information. You're essentially going to come out of this learning experience and now go back to your business with this new education, this new way of seeing the world. At the beginning, I promised that you would understand how to approach building a marketing piece from scratch and to do it in a way that gave confidence, that sucked someone in, that offered them value, and that instantly communicated that unconscious, I have something to bring you, not I'm trying to take something away. And I think at this point, you know how to do that. But just because you know how to do that doesn't mean that you know the steps to apply to create the most powerful, highest response marketing piece. Remember I said you want to start with the offer? Right? That's where I start. Start with the offer. And what we did here is we started with some of the candy in a way, and then we led up, and now we've created our offer. Because your free line piece, whatever it is that you're offering to them for free, that is your offer. That's the thing to start with. If you're looking for where to start with that. And build your marketing document around that as the foundation. So line up the beginning, the middle, and the end around that offer. And I think that it'll allow you to build something that'll be valuable to your customers. Good. So you know what we're going to do now is stop for a second and reflect. what's a question you have? If you could ask me any question about the material that we've covered. Not about your particular situation, but a clarification, something specific, an approach, a distinction. Maybe flip back through your notes. Was there something that wasn't quite clear? Something that if I shared it might be stronger for the whole group? Okay? Something that would be valuable for everybody. If you have it, write it down.
Eben, my question is on when I really pick my best item, or for any of us, when we pick our best item to move that free line,
Yeah.
is it appropriate just to give it away without any other thing because they'll naturally get the value and of course they're then going to want to buy from me versus tying in a little bit of a hook to say, you know, refer like you've done, refer 3 clients and then you'll get this great free thing or in the course of all that. So I'm kind of tossed between giving it away free.
Yeah.
Any comment about that?
We always want to get a little more, right? You'll notice that in the free business analysis, that is completely free. That's it. Enter name and email, I'll send it to you. The refer 3 friends was an element we built into getting the free software. Okay, so there are levels to this. And in an ideal world, the way that we would do this, it's a great question, by the way. In an ideal world, the way we would do this is we would think in terms of where's the customer at, where's the prospective customer at psychologically? How do they think about this situation? And this gets to a little deeper psychology. Most customers think at some level that they know what their issue is, what the solution to their problem is. We all kind of think we get it. And it's the old, you know, people go to therapists not to have their problems fixed, but to have someone say, I'd feel the same way if I were you, you know, that kind of thing.
Right.
So when you give your stuff away, so to speak, you've got to balance that with weaving in the motivation to come get more. In information product marketing, selling information, packaging it up in different forms of advice, that kind of thing. One of the things that you need to do is balance the instant gratification. The person needs the instant gratification from it right now, but also explaining to them that there's a deeper level, and if you really want to get the bigger result you want, you need to pay attention to this deeper level. And so giving away a technique to try something
Right.
will get the customer to go, oh, wow, that's great, that works well. But then as you're giving the technique, you want to say things like, and, you know, there's another level here, and if you're really interested in learning how to master this thing, you probably want to check out this other thing over here. You kind of earn that right as you're delivering it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, perfect sense.
Yeah, and you can just kind of cascade this and
Okay, great.
do it one after another.
Thanks.
Thank you, good question. Thank you.
Hi, my question's about headlines and when it's appropriate to. It seems like it's mostly appropriate to use headlines to grab people and get them get their attention and really sell them to get into your website. But it's got to be also appropriate not to use headlines at some point, and also while they're in your website, not to use headlines. So can you talk more about when it's appropriate and when it's not appropriate to use, you know, major bolding headlines to sort of grab them, and
Sure.
when they're finally in the door, when to kind of let that go?
Okay, good. Another great question. When I'm here communicating with you right now, I can say words, but I can also use tonality, I can pause, I can have rhythm to what I'm saying, I can use body language, I can say something that's sarcastic but smile at you. We can do all these things that we can't do in print. Think of a big, bold headline as me changing my tone of voice. Think of italics as changing tone of voice. Think of a subheadline as changing a tone of voice. I have, I think, for someone that's trying to teach groups of people, a relatively monotonous voice. If you go see, you know, real professionals who do this stuff, they'll jump up and down, and for a minute they'll do this, and then they'll come back and they'll do this. Now I need to learn to do that more because it gets more attention. It's more interesting. It's fascinating. It gives your brain something to do. Oftentimes, I've never taught a particular thing before, and so I'm stuck up in my head trying to whatever, but still, you hear the different, levels of energy and the different tonality and the different emotion that's happening in the room as we work together, right?
Sure.
Don't think of it as a headline. Think of it as changing your tonality. Don't think of it as a subheadline. Think of it as changing your tonality. Think of it as, instead of being a monotonous monotone, stopping for a minute and going, here's something cool. The great copywriter Gary Halbert, who unfortunately is no longer alive, he had this writing style where he'd write a couple of paragraphs, and then at the end it'd go ... and then in big bold letters he'd put like 4 words. And you'd just see these things that would say ... and it almost killed me! ! And then blah, 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 ... and I got $1 million in cash! ... and he fell over the side of the boat and almost drowned. And there's this energy to it. It's just addictive kind of reading. So instead of thinking of it as a headline, because it's not, it's like, it would be like if you came up and you said, is it appropriate to just stop using words at some point? Because it's like, words, I don't want to use these anymore. I just want to have colors and geometrical shapes in my ad. It's like, well, there might be, but we're not using words, we're communicating. They're tools, and a headline is a tool. So think of it that way, and I think that you'll get more out of it than if you think of just like a headline.
Okay, thanks.
You talked a little bit about how people are motivated by their irrational fears.
Yeah.
And I think to a certain degree, I can put myself there and sort of think about what their irrational fears are, but I suspect that I'm probably not getting the whole picture. So I'm wondering if you can suggest like graceful ways to ask about that, or to probe a little bit deeper with people to kind of go
Instead
there
of
with
saying,
you.
can you describe your inner demons to me?
Exactly.
Doesn't seem like it would work. I'll tell you a secret. Am I among friends? I'll tell you another secret. One of my big breakthroughs in my life came when I realized that I was kind of out of control of my mind. That was one of my big moments of realization, like, I think I control my mind, but it's all an illusion. It's just doing its same thing all the time, over and over, and I get into different situations and it triggers something. I talk to my mom and it triggers this other thing and my emotions, and I'm kind of like this ping pong ball. And instead of being like, no, I've got to get control, I just relaxed and kind of watched it happen. And then I started to see all of these things that I never saw before. Someone would cut me off in traffic, and instead of what my self-image was, that it kind of annoyed me, I would realize that I've spent the last 5 minutes fantasizing about exactly how I'm going to cut them off up ahead, and I know how it's going to happen and where, and I know who's probably driving it, and they're going to get that look in their face, and I'm going to cut them off, and they're going to realize they did it to me, and they got what they deserved, and they're going to go home and feel bad. And I'd wake up and I'd go, oh, what the hell are you doing? And that, I think of it as kind of a gift now, because whenever I go on autopilot on anything, I try to notice what happened while I was on autopilot. What most of us do is just kind of go into denial while we're on autopilot. We rationalize it and justify it and say, I'm right. But I'm fascinated with it, anything that pushes one of my buttons. And once I'm fascinated with myself, I start talking about it, and that stuff makes people very nervous because they don't want to know what's really going on. We don't want to know what's going on in there. To keep the box closed, please. But then you can start listening to other people differently.
Okay.
Then you can hear when someone's communicating what they're really saying, and you can start realizing we're not around a group of civilized, rational creatures that have totally locked down all of their negative emotions and their automatic robot, chimp behavior, let's just call it, that there's a lot going on in there, okay? I geek out when I watch these animal documentaries. You draw the similarities to the humans. I've done that for years. So when I say people have irrational fears, or they're making irrational fantasies, or they have these irrational motivations, What I don't mean is they're wrong or that they're bad or that they're somehow evil or there's something screwed up with people. What I am not coming right out and saying is that that's what we're all doing all the time. That's the rule. We come up with this logical explanation in this step-by-step formula for why we did things, and that's our explanation for it, but that's not why it happened at all. And so this is a little bigger question that you're asking right now. When I'm creating a marketing document or when I really dig in, when it's like my project, I don't care about the logic. The logic becomes irrelevant because I know that the decision-making process that's going on inside of the head of the human that I'm going to be talking to has nothing to do with logic. Logic might come up at the end to rationalize the purchase, but that's not what it's about at all. I want to know all the irrational stuff. And we all make irrational fantasies and movies and ideas. That's what we're doing all the time, and that's what's driving and motivating it. Am I weirding anyone out too much here? Am I getting a little too bizarre? Okay. So when you know that, then you can start asking people questions and hearing what's really going on. Okay, you can start saying things like, oh, cute bag, and instead of hearing the other person say, yeah, I got it on sale at whatever, you can start asking questions that allow the other person to share a little bit of why they really bought it. Mm-hmm. You open up the space and you say, why'd you really buy that? Is it a guy? And a little window will open and they'll go, oh, someone else is like me and crazy too, and I can share it. That's funny you would ask because it is a guy. It's this, whatever it is, right? So when you're open to it, you can go through the world and get people to open up just a little bit more, give you a little bit more insight, and then you can talk to what's really going on.